Welcome to Boise Song Talk. I'm James Coberly Smith. Give me just a second to set this guitar down, if you could, please. Thank you. Songs. What are these songs? Well, consider this. On the one hand, we have you send me, darling, you send me. On the other hand, we have one way or another, I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna get you one way or another. Completely different songs, but they both work. Now, what we're going to be doing on Boise Song Talk is we're going to be speaking with a number of the great local songwriters about how they write their songs. Now, they're all great live performers, and I encourage you to go out and see their live shows. However, we won't be emphasizing performance here. Instead, we'll be focusing on how they write their songs. Now, I'm going to start this thing off with a shortened version of a song of my own, then we'll go over and meet tonight's special guest. You put your pedal to the metal, slam into my bike. Now you're feeling better by driving. You put my thoughts on a rocket. You send the rocket to the moon. You seem to like me better from a distance, yeah. Not a day goes by. Not a day goes by. It ever comes back. Take me as I am. I'm working on my own, yeah. Not an hour goes by, not a minute goes by, it ever comes back, working on my own, yeah. Take me as I am, working on my own, yeah. You cut my photo into pieces, mix the pieces up. Now I'm better looking, you're really fixing me up, baby. You could take the Great Rocky Mountain, grind them into dust, sweep them into Canada. Ooh, you love to fix things up. Not a day goes by. Not a day goes by that it ever comes back. Take me as I am. I'm working on my own yard. Not an hour goes by. Not a minute goes by that it ever comes back. Working on my own yard. Take me as I am, working on my own yard. Working on my own yard. Now let's go over and meet tonight's special guest, Rebecca Scott.
Hello.
Rebecca Scott. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, I have seen you perform many, many times. The things that are most amazing to me are when I walk in to see you, every time there's this phenomenal energy, this positive energy. The other thing that's so striking to me is your guitar playing is very exceptional, especially your rhythm playing. Now, you had mentioned once that you came from a musical family.
I did.
I'm kind of curious if you could tell us a little about that, and then how that came to you playing guitar.
My all of my family was involved in music in one way or another, and both my parents were in philharmonics in Oregon, the classical music players, and then both of them. This is the '70s, so they took off in their music collections of James Taylor, Carly Simon. Got a little ruckusy after that, but I was always around music. Every morning we grew up listening to music. That's how we got to wake up in the morning time. And when I started playing guitar, that was a little out there because, of course, classically trained family, but I was playing an instrument and that was important to them. So
Was that your first instrument, guitar?
banjo was my first.
Wasn't it? Me too.
I know.
I went
Really?
banjo before guitar too. Ukulele before banjo, but
Well,
yeah, you missed that step. It wasn't an important one.
it was a Mickey Mouse guitar, but my brother sat on it.
Was your banjo 4-string or 5-string?
5.
Me too. Shoot.
I know.
How long did you stay playing banjo before you moved to guitar?
Not very long.
Me too.
Guitar was very important.
Great. How
Banjo
about
was just
that?
in the house. I had to beg for the guitar.
I see. Now your parents were in. You're saying the Philharmonic, etc. Were they playing like stringed instruments and things?
My father played the trombone, and my mother was cello.
I played the trombone. Gee, many
It's like
Christmas.
we're
It's like
cousins.
I'm in your family.
I know.
Fantastic. How about that? Okay, so you started playing guitar
8 years old.
8 years old. Was it a full-size guitar?
No.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
6-string? I mean, like steel strings?
Steel strings.
Gee, many.
Yeah.
That's tough. And what kind of things were you? Can you remember what kind of stuff you were learning?
I was all about John Denver, Jim Croce, James Taylor.
At 8 years old.
Yes.
Ah. So you were strumming chords, and
Yes. I didn't know that's what I was doing at the time, but
Right.
that's how it worked out. I'm an ear player.
interesting. And so you started that way, and you just kept doing that through the years, and it just, well,
Built.
we can see. In fact, why don't we see a little bit? Why don't you? You feel like giving us a song?
All right, sure.
All right.
It's a song I wrote for my grandmother.
Oh, yes. I love the song.
This is the Polly song.
Yes.
Like an ocean wave, she crashes down, pouring her warmth all over me, finding her way in without a sound, sharing her light so I can always see. But her hands are tired, she'll hold on to the fire of a fiercely loving family. When things go wrong beyond the night, she'll make everything right, tuck you in safely. Happily, oh, Bobby, I'll see you in my dreams. In her mind, everything's clear. My heart always knows just how to be near. I've learned from the best, my soul to the test, like a strong wind rushing through the trees. Oh, Bobby, I'll see you in my dreams. In your mind, everything's clear. My heart always knows just how to be near. Every word, every sound, you are always around. Your home like hums to me. Oh, Polly, I'll see you in my dreams. Oh, Polly, I'll see you in my dreams. Oh, Polly,
geez. I love that thing. Now, you mentioned to me once that the idea for that came from your grandma saying to you the chorus line, "Honey, I'll see you in my dreams." Is that right?
That's right.
So she gave you, there was just that phrase.
Right.
How did that evolve into this? I mean, what happened next? Did you just keep that phrase around for a while? Or did it just suddenly, did you start hearing, "Honey, I'll see you here in my dreams," or what? What happened?
Well, she has the onset of Alzheimer's, and she grabbed my face and she said, "I'll see you in my dreams." And I was visiting where she lives, drove back home, very long journey, got my guitar out and started writing that song. And it was just the importance of her presence in my life and what we do, what we've done together, what we've learned together, and what our families learned together in turn. And that one moment that she got to share with me a memory, and she was there, and I couldn't believe it.
So you started writing it with your guitar then? You
Yes.
picked up the guitar?
I knew I wanted it to be a waltz.
Oh, there you go. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So you knew you wanted to be a waltz, and you had that line.
Yes.
Did the chorus come to you first, or did you start getting the verses? You may not remember this. I'm
Well,
just
no,
curious.
I do remember
Okay.
very, very well. I just felt like it was very important to tell her how important she was to me.
Yeah.
And I just started writing with a pen and paper, and I picked up my guitar, and I had an idea that I wanted it to be a waltz, and it really exploded. It just came to me very, very immediately,
So it was written quickly, like within a day.
within an hour.
Oh, fantastic! That is beautiful. That is so great.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you got that connection to her.
Thank you.
I've had similar experiences, and it's like the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, the window comes and goes.
It
And
does indeed.
I'm glad you had one. Fantastic. Well, and obviously we were talking about the guitar playing before. You know, I'm talking about all the rhythmic stuff, but that is such beautiful threading. It's just so
Thank you.
beautiful. Wow, what a nice hour you spent writing that. I'm glad you spent that hour. Gosh, that's a beautiful thing. Do you usually get music and lyrics at the same time?
No.
Okay, which way do they usually happen?
It varies. It really does.
Yeah.
I've been known to pull out a McDonald's napkin in my car and get an idea and write it down really quickly, or I'll sit with my guitar and work something out and go, and start humming something, and then whatever kind of comes naturally after that.
And if you get the lyrics and you're in the car, you jot them down, or, well, it's hard
Pull
to jot
over,
them in the
right.
car. Yeah,
Pull over.
Good advice. And so you will, that's the way you capture that idea when you're getting it.
When you get the idea, pay attention to it. Write it down or play it. Make it become something, because the minute it leaves you, it's likely not to revisit.
Excellent advice. Excellent. That's very important. Gee, there's so many things I could ask you. I got to think of where to go. When you are writing songs, do you find that you go through periods of time where you're not writing songs for a while, and suddenly you go through and get bursts of them?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
And it's really important to pay attention.
Uh-huh.
Because I think it's so easy for all of us to let our lives get so busy that we don't have an opportunity to pay attention. You
Right.
have to go, gosh, maybe I should give myself a couple hours today just to have quiet time and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And we don't do that normally. But I
Interesting.
think if you want to write songs, you need to really be awake and aware of what passes through your mind and your heart.
So sometimes I ask people, do you view songwriting as an inspiration or a discipline? You're kind of addressing a little of both there. Is that right?
I think the discipline is paying attention and believing
Yeah.
in yourself to do
Sure.
what you want to do,
Yeah.
inspiration can be at any hour of any day.
Uh-huh. Interesting, yeah. So, gee, well, I enjoyed the last one so much, I think we might just have to have another one.
Okay.
If I could trouble you.
That's kind of why we're here.
Oh, it is kind of why we're here. And by the way, Rebecca Scott, if anyone wants information on her, you can contact me at my email, jamescoberlysmith@gmail.com, and I can get you over to Rebecca's information. Rebecca Scott.
It's a song about becoming a songwriter and making it.
Okay.
It's at your fingertips, it's breathing through your lips. You follow where the wind blows. It's spinning up and climb, just trying to make a dime. You listen how the song goes. And now you're standing here, your time is much too near to loosen up the rest. A dream that's everlasting, reaching for the goal with your small hands. You know it's all along your own, and you get it on with a song someone could swallow. It comes and goes too fast, and you make it last with a pocket full of nothing. Lullabies forgotten, reaching for the goal with your small hand. I hear best friend, a melody that's heaven sent. It's heaven sent. Sometimes a faithful friend, sometimes it never ends. Mystery of madness. Like a bird just sing, you reach for that everything that keeps you up at night while everyone's so tired. Plays inside your head like a marching band. And I hear do I can't get away from sometimes a faithful friend, sometimes it never ends. I say do 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 yeah. Just can't get out of my head.
Wow. Okay. You are such a performer. And by the way, as I said, you got to go see Rebecca live. It's just with her band, and just see her live anytime. It's just energy. And I don't just mean physical energy, which it is too, but it's just fantastic stuff. When you finish a song, given that you are such a performer, does it take you a while to get to the point where you're comfortable performing it?
Well, when I write a song that I absolutely have fallen in love with, I perform it, and of course, right out of the box, it's not going to be great.
Okay.
It'll be okay.
But
It'll be pretty good.
you will perform it at that point?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
The night of, I played Polly.
Okay. Oh, did
But-
you? Oh, geez.
Songs have a life of their own. They live and breathe. They take on new meanings. They keep changing. They
Uh-huh,
keep changing, and that's really, really important. So every night it's going to be different.
Very good. And it is. Every time I come and see you, it's always a new deal. In some of your songs, there are some very colorful lyrics in your song, Let Love Take You Home. I believe is where you open the song with, while a storm hitched a ride into town. You also have a great lyric in a different song of listening to you boil.
Mm-hmm.
Now those are such great phrases. Do those usually just come to you as part of when you're sitting there writing the song? I know you wrote the song for your grandma in one sitting. Do they usually happen in one sitting, or do you collect phrases like this and then stick them in? What?
I'm a one-sitting person.
Are you?
The song washes over me, and I write it down, and songs that I actually try to work on writing
Right.
turn out to be the ones that I don't want to ever turn into something.
Interesting. Okay.
It
That's
just kind of works for me.
well. That's very interesting. Yeah, it varies a lot with people, and they all can work.
Absolutely.
It's very cool.
Absolutely.
And when you finish them, do you usually like them?
Yes.
Okay, because sometimes like Neil Young or someone I've heard say, well, when I'm done with them, I don't know. Over a little time, it takes me a while. But I always would think the way you do that, well, if you didn't like them, you wouldn't have gotten them done.
Right.
And you're very excited
I'll just-
usually when you
Right.
finish them. Great.
But-
Okay. Do you sometimes think you have certain songs that your audience has as their favorites?
Yeah.
Do you, as a songwriter, do you sometimes look at your own catalog and say, boy, I think this one's really strong, but most people seem to like this one better? Do you find that?
Certainly.
Interesting.
Certainly.
Okay. All right. Because sometimes, yeah, it's
Well, and it depends on the venue too. If it's a real ruckusy venue, they want to hear really happy, lively tunes. And in a concert setting, something like "Let Love Take You Home" goes over wonderfully.
How about titles? Well, no, I guess the titles
Terrible
just.
with titles.
But I guess originally I'd wondered, do you sometimes just write down phrases that could be good titles? But I'm guessing not, that you just write the song and then you look at the song and say, which words in here
Kind
are
of
it?
best describe the tune, yeah.
Yeah.
Anymore. Early on, I was making song titles a little more difficult than they needed to be.
Now, if you had some advice, a piece of advice, and you already did give some good advice earlier, but if you had a piece of advice or two to give to other songwriters starting out or veteran songwriters, anything you might think of?
I did think of a couple things.
Okay.
First is, for me, don't doubt what you're doing.
Okay.
Have conviction. Go forward. You might think the song sounds like something that you recognize, but really it's your own craft. It's what you're trying to do. And be content with that. And the second is always check your zipper.
See, that is practical
I
advice.
know.
Very practical advice. Yeah.
Thank
Too
you.
late.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. Oh, well. I have my tie on tonight. I haven't worn a tie on the show, I don't think, before. Well, my friend, I really appreciate you coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We are slowly spiraling toward the end of the show. Not the end of anything else. Toward the end of the show. And if you have another piece you'd like to take us out on, we'll see if it takes us out or not. If we're still going after that, we'll talk some more.
Okay.
Rebecca Scott, really appreciate her coming.
Soft paper when ink bleeds through. Silent living still got nothing on you. Sweet line takes to the night. Knows a rhythm and a beat to life. Truth is yet to be skeleton in my way. Won't leave it hanging. Tender eyes come tomorrow. On this world will just be lies. Truth is yet to be told. The lean on some paper that you just won't hold. God's eyes and prostitutes. Nothing sacred in this disposable diary. Hey, now.
Well, in case it's still going, let's jam it up, baby.
All right, baby.
Blues in E, whatever we're gonna do. Rebecca Scott came tonight. Really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the hard work the crew does too, even though I never show you, except for right now when I'm telling you. See that lead player, yeah.